Hello, Blackhawks Nation. Welcome to the Blackhawks Daily, your favorite recap of the daily buzz around your Chicago Blackhawks. I'm your host, PJ Benoit. Thank you so much for tuning in as we uplift, support, and celebrate our beloved Hawks jumping and tearing through this centennial season. If you're new here, welcome. And if you haven't already, please take a moment, hit that subscribe button. It means a ton to me and also be just so much fun to have you along as we build this wonderful and great community. You'll see in the comments, these people are awesome. We have our top 4 topics of the day, so let's dive in, shall we? And I kind of wish we were starting off today on a higher note, but we're not, because last night we dropped a heartbreaker at home to Seattle Kraken, 3-2 at the old UC. It was a game of 2 halves, or whatever that can be in 3 periods. We had the first period was nothing. It was 0-0. We had a strong second period, up 2-0, and then a very shaky finish. And tonight we're going to break down, we're going to break down how it all went down last night, what went wrong, and what the Hawks need to fix moving forward. So we opened the game looking pretty sharp. Obviously Seattle was pretty sharp as well. Then in the second, we got on the board early when Tyler Bertuzzi scored just 43 seconds into the period on a beautiful pass from Teravainen. And actually, it was a give and go between Teravainen, Nazar, and Bertuzzi. Wonderful, just beautiful. Made the goalie look like he didn't know what he was doing. And then the Hawks made it 2-0 when Teravainen converted a power play chance at 10 minutes and 7 seconds in the second. Bertuzzi, beautiful one-armed pass off the right boards, straight across. No one expected it to go there, right on Teravainen's stick. It was beautiful. And at that point, everything looked right? The speed, the puck moment, the movement, the confidence. It was a version of the Hawks that we've come to expect this year. And then the wheels came off, right? Seattle turned it up in the third, scoring 3 unanswered goals and flipping the scoreboard ultimately to their favor, right? So Ty Carty, however you say his name, I don't care. He's not on our team. He deflected a shot at 5:09 of the third to make it 2-1. And that shot bounced off of 2 players, really. So Knight didn't really have a chance. Then Shane Wright tied it with a deflection just 2 minutes later. And then the dagger, Jaden Schwartz, scored on a power play with at 17:42 in the third, 2 seconds before Chicago's penalty expired after a very controversial minor to Connor Bedard for unsportsmanlike conduct. And that penalty changed everything. Bedard later admitted that he put our team in a vulnerable spot. And I'm gonna stop us right here just because let's talk about that penalty. So Bedard had a breakaway. He was coming in on the goalie, and he wanted a call of hooking, right? Because the defenseman hit his glove and his stick. So hooking is an ice hockey infraction where a player uses their stick to impede an opponent's progress through a pulling or tugging motion, often with the blade against the opponent's body or stick. That's the NHL's definition, and that is exactly what happened. Now, game time speed, it's really fast, but that's exactly what happened. And then Bedard, because he's going so fast, skated right up to the linesman, pleading his case, like right up against him. I think he actually might have bumped him a little bit. But he was pissed, and he was pleading his case. Then he gets a 2-minute unsportsmanlike penalty. Talk about flipping it. Instead of getting a penalty on a breakaway, he gets a penalty on unsportsmanlike conduct. I love his passion, and yeah, his head got a little bit out of it, but I can see why he was arguing about it. I mean, it was everything, right? So the game was tied. We had a chance on a breakaway, and they did a penalty, and instead we got a penalty. So that blows. All right, off of my soapbox. So positives that we had: Bertuzzi back in the action, kicking butt. Teravainen continuing to kick butt. Both of them had a goal and an assist. They showed up. They gave the team a really strong chance. The Hawks still had pace. We still created chances. The problem wasn't exactly lack of effort. And Spencer Knight made 24 saves. Solid in isolation, right? So what do we need to improve? We're always dropping a period. Normally it's the second period. Unfortunately, this time it's the third period. We need stamina all the way through. You can't, and also you just can't let them in, right? You can't build a 2-0 lead and then fold in the final 20 minutes. That stay ready mindset has to be there. Bedard's minor came at the worst possible time in regards to penalty trouble and timing, right? Absolute worst possible time. Timing and discipline when you have the lead matters, right? And finish the power play, capitalize when up. We got the lead early, we couldn't bury the dagger when they had opportunities. And defensive zone awareness, the deflections, the loose puck up front, the bounce the other way, those small details killed the Hawks last night. That power play goal that sealed it for the Kraken was actually a very nice pass, went right through Kaiser's legs. It came so fast, it was a hard pass. Kaiser was not expecting to go between his legs. They deserved that one, but it's just tough, right? The final take was this game was winnable. If Chicago plays a full 60 minutes in the same gear they showed up in the first two periods, they win. Instead, we allowed a comeback, we let momentum slip, and gave away 2 points at home, and that friggin' hurts. But it's not a sign that this team's off track. It's not, oh my gosh, clutch our pearls and wring our hands. Far from it. The identity's still there. They still have the speed, skill, and the young core that's still producing. This loss doesn't define them. How they respond will. So would love to get your guys' takes on that, because it matters, right? Like how we respond to adversity absolutely matters. It shows the grit of a team. Moving on from there, let's talk about another thing that was terrible last night. Burakovsky is injured, comes at a really bad time for us. So let's break it down how it happened, what the timeline looks like, and why it matters, right? So last night's game, Burakovsky skated into the offensive zone with his head down, caught a brutal hit from Seattle defenseman Ryan Lindgren. Lindgren delivered a shoulder-first check to Burakovsky's head, while Burakovsky did not have the puck. Totally snapped his head back, helmet flew off, landed, basically face first on the ice. He left the game late in the first, did not return. Post-game comments, Connor Bedard called the hit bullshit. And it was. For the timing and the lack of call, Blachawks said that the hit square in the head was unacceptable and the non-call frustrated him. As it should, right? If you watch it, again, game speed is different, but when you see the slow-mo, you can totally see Burakovsky, his head's down, basically defenseless. Lindgren comes in, puts his arm ready for the hit. He doesn't totally launch up, but he absolutely went right for the head. And it just sucks. It absolutely sucks. We should follow Fubar's advice and a repeat offender in the comments section. As long as Burakovsky's out, Lindgren should be out as well. No pay, right? Hurts the Kraken, while our member's been hurt. So I don't know. The more I see this, the more I think Fubar is on to something, buddy. And at this point, the official update on Burakovsky is undisclosed. He's going to miss at least the next contest tonight against the Sabres. There is no timetable beyond that yet, which means he could be out for multiple games, depending on how the injury is diagnosed and managed. So the bottom line is he's definitely out tonight. There's a realistic chance it could stretch further if it's a head injury, concussion protocol, or upper body injury. Remember, that head-down hit scenario tends to carry more caution. So, and this is a big hit for Chicago. Burakovsky's been one of their veteran contributors, right? He's come in from the Kraken, ironically, but he's matched beautifully with Bedard and Bertuzzi on the first line. He's off to a strong start this season, and he was playing on the top line with Bedard and Bertuzzi, as we mentioned. Losing that chemistry and that chunk of wing depth hurts. His absence opens up a gap on the right wing on the top line. That means someone has to step up in a larger role, which could accelerate young player or shift some lines around. Our special teams, or in the two-way responsibility category, Burakovsky brings experience. The Hawks will need the younger guys to fill that void in defensive responsibility while also generating offense. He's a great two-way player. From a depth perspective, if the Hawks are already relying on young players stepping up, losing a veteran like Burakovsky adds pressure on those younger guys, not just to rise, but to maintain. It's not easy to do that night after night. And the Hawks want to keep this stride going, this momentum going. The injuries are part of hockey, but you'd rather not lose a top six forward at a time. You're trying to build something. The team will need to rally behind this and not let it derail their identity. Excuse me. So here's how I'm looking at it. his injury is a setback, no doubt. The Hawks have built depth, youth, and structure this year that can absorb a hit like this if they respond correctly. So the keys over the next few games is identify who steps into his spot, whether they bring the similar energy, make sure the top line doesn't flatline without his presence, and show up at the same pace with the same pace and structure. That this can't be an excuse for a dip in performance, right? So this is a moment of truth for the roster. The young guys have been proving themselves. They really have. Now they get, unfortunately, even more opportunity to do it when we're not dictating that. How they handle this will tell us a lot about how far this team can go. So, moving on from there, let's talk about tonight. So, we're looking ahead at a crucial road game. The Hawks are going to take on the Buffalo Sabres at KeyBank Center in Buffalo. So, really interesting game. Puck drops at 7 p.m. Eastern time, so 6 o'clock here. Why the Hawks can feel good. Momentum away from home, right? Chicago is riding a 3-game road winning streak, entering this one at 10-6 and all. 10-6 and 4 overall. We have offensive firepower. The Hawks are averaging a solid number of goals this season, around 3.3 a game. And their core players are clicking. With Sabres giving up some chances, Chicago has real opportunity to control the pace. Buffalo struggles at home against Chicago and defensively, right? The Sabres have allowed at least 4 goals in 4 of their last 5 games, which presents an opening for Chicago. Another thing to point out, we've made fun of Calgary because they're the worst team in hockey right now. And we've beat up on them pretty good. Calgary went into the Sabres night before last and destroyed them 6-2. So we got a chance here, right? But we can't just think it's going to automatically happen, right? Buffalo's home ice rebound. Buffalo is 6-4-2 at home this season and will have extra motivation to defend their home turf after some recent lapses, especially against a team like Calgary. Historical edge, the Sabres have had Chicago's number in recent meetings, winning a large majority of the last several matchups. Chicago cannot take them lightly. And back-to-back fatigue, Chicago is playing the second leg of a back-to-back, which could impact energy and their legs. Bringing the physicality and urgency early will matter. So, what do we got to watch for? What needs to happen? We need to jump on them early. If Chicago comes out flat, Buffalo will gain confidence and leverage home ice. The Hawks need to get into their speed game, move the puck, and avoid hanging around their own zones. We got to finish chances, giving the Sabres defensive soft spots. The Hawks should capitalize when they get grade A opportunities. Timing and execution needs to be sharp. We got to stay disciplined. Power play and penalty kills always matter. Buffalo's had issues defensively when stretched. Chicago must avoid giving the Sabres momentum through mistakes. And depth contributions, as we always talk about. Beyond the top guys, someone from the middle 6 or third line needs to rise. That'll give Chicago balance and reduce stress on the top line, especially with Burakovsky out. Goaltending and structure. The Hawks' identity this season has been better structure and consistent goaltending. If they hold true to that, then they're in very good shape. Many previews have Chicago favored on the road, or at least in a position to win this one. One model suggesting Chicago winning 4-3. Buffalo will push, and they'll want this badly at home. If the Hawks bring their game, though, they should continue to, keep our strong stretch going. So this game matters because it's not just about one win. It's about building depth, maintaining confidence on the road, and reinforcing that the Hawks are a full league threat, not just a good story. A win here pushes momentum. A loss won't kill the year, but 2 in a row could slow it, right? So here's the bottom line. We have the tools, clearly. We got the speed, the skill, the structure, and the confidence. Sabres have home ice and a little bit of motivation. They were licking their wounds. But also, they have defensive vulnerabilities. If the Hawks can bring their A game, we should walk out with points. I am going to say that I think we're going to win this 5-0. I think it's time for Soderblom, if he starts, which he probably should on a back-to-back. I think Soderblom's going to get his shutout. That's what I feel. But let me know. In fact, I would love it for every game you guys give some predictions, because it's just fun to see how close we can get, right? So, moving on from there, let's get to the final takes. So, your final contributions. Always fun in the comments. Johnny Half, 6558, now becoming a consistent repeat offender. Talking about the shirt I wore yesterday, the old style shirt that had said, "Oh, sorry" on it. He said, "That's a Lacrosse Wisconsin shirt, PJ. Back in the day, that was one hell of a brewery tour." I went to college at Marquette, young man, and I know all about brewery tours. So absolutely agree with you. Thank you for your contributions. Rendezvous 5784, also a repeat offender, from a while ago. Who impresses me, Bedard and anyone else on the ice with him? Moore's been impressive, and I believe once he gets things dialed in, he'll be amazing. Looking forward to Bertuzzi's return. Also, go Hawks. And you call that one, brother. Bertuzzi had a great game. So very happy to see him, his presence, and his energy on the ice. Thank you for your contribution. Joshua Bauman, 3209, repeat offender. Hey, PJ, that's right. Our baby girl's going to have the Hawks onesie, which is awesome. Celebrini has 30 points in 20 games, while Bedard has 29 points in 19 games. It's weird how the rankings don't account for games played. Like, technically, Bedard has better scoring at 19 games than Macklin did at 19. Fingers crossed he gets more points against the Kraken. Hopefully, the Hawks can flip the script on Seattle and show them who dominates the West. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, but love your enthusiasm. I also love that you mentioned you were not a big hockey fan, but you're digging in, buddy. Hockey is just so much fun. It's the best sport out there. I'm always amazed at what these guys can do on the ice. I can fall really well on the ice, and that's about it. So it is very, very cool. Thank you for your contributions as always. Lester 701, the Commander, repeat offender extraordinaire, says, "Hey, PJ, I hope everyone is doing great and everyone has a great day. Love that shirt." Talking about the sorry shirt. Thank you very much. This upcoming game, I feel will end 4-2 Blackhawks. Unfortunately, no. You know what though? If Bedard had that breakaway actually work in his favor, or at least got a penalty shot, it very well could have ended 4-2. So you weren't off. It's just that the referees, right? Those guys messed us up. I don't like it. Anyway, the entire team is bonding, maturing, finding their way in the game and in the league. The Blackhawks come spring are going to be shocking many in a good way. So let's have Kraken soup. I love that. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. Should have a fun, great game. Go Blackhawks, go Bulls, and go Bears as well. True Chicago fan, the Commander, over and out. Thank you, Lester. Spencer Hawk, 9742, another repeat offender. My pick to click is Louis Crevier. Okay, so I'll try to find out more stuff on Crevier. His heavy shot approaches 105 miles an hour. Jeez. And opponents are dreading playing against him and Vlasic 6'8" and 6'7", respectively. Talk about a couple of giants. The Hawks should obliterate the Kraken and give Colorado all they can handle. We should have obliterated them. Unfortunately, it did not pan out that way. Always love the positives and hope your prognostications are on the money. I'm not perfect with the prognostications. I'm trying, buddy, but thank you so much for your contribution. It's awesome. Someone new commenter, 745 Moto fan. In the next 3 games, the Blackhawks are getting 6 points. All right, well, unfortunately, that didn't happen, but we can still get 4 points, so love your enthusiasm. Thank you for your contribution, sir. Ryan Austin, 1970, repeat offender. Hello, PJ. I think Connor is forcing his way onto our Olympic team. And for upcoming games, 4-3 over Seattle. Again, if we didn't get the penalty, if the referees didn't mess up our flow with non-call against Burakovsky and non-call against Bedard, very, very different outcome for us, I think. So you're on there. 6-1 over Buffalo. Okay. That's not bad. I got 5-0. You got 6-1. We'll see. And hate to admit it, but I think we lose to the Avs 3-1. Ooh. Yeah, and we got an Avs game on Sunday as well. If you can get to the UC, let's try to cheer on the Hawks. That's going to be a real test. Yesterday hurt because evenly matched team against a foe in the West, right? Like, that kind of hurts. Avalanche, though, that's going to be the litmus test, I think. I really hope we come away with a win. That would be amazing. We just got to have a good showing, right? We just got to have a good showing to show the league. Actually, you know what? We don't have to have a good showing. We are showing well. Let's just beat them. I think we're gonna beat the Avs 3-2. I'll give them that because they can force some stuff. So we'll see. But hey, it's Friday. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. We're heading into Thanksgiving week. All the turkey. I've already had my early Thanksgiving, but all the turkey and the stuffing and mashed potatoes and all the fun. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend heading into this holiday week. It's going to be fun. I will see you guys on Monday for sure. So that's a wrap for today, Blackhawks Nation. If you are new here, welcome to the channel. Please like and subscribe. If you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support, seriously, and for sharing about the channel to all your family and friends and neighbors. Get them all in here, the more the merrier. If you made a comment, thank you for your thoughts and your expertise and your passion about the Hawks with us all. And if you are a repeat offender in the comment section, which so many of you are, which I love, it's an honor, truly an honor, building this community with you. Makes my everyday. I love it so much. Thanks to all of you as we celebrate the very best team in hockey with the very best fans, that's you guys, and all of sports in the absolute best city this little blue dot in this very wide and expanding universe has to offer. So that does it for now. I am PJ, and we'll see you next time on the Blackhawks Daily.